Hello everyone, welcome to this VLSI design lecture series. Myself Dr. Sharmila, Assistant Professor, Department of ECE at Krishna Engineering College. In this lecture series, today you are going to learn design partitioning and VLSI design flow. So the topics which I am going to cover in this sections are what is design partitioning, what are the different levels of abstraction, what is VLSI design flow and its front end and back end design. Then we are going to see about a Y chart. So first you have to know what is a design partitioning. So what is the meaning of partitioning? Partitioning is nothing but dividing. That is nothing but the partitioning. Okay. Suppose if you are going to design any complex system, means it is very difficult to design a system at a stage. So for that we are going for the design partitioning. So in the design partitioning, we are going to divide complex system into the smaller subsystems. So design partitioning means what? We are going to divide the complex system into the smaller subsystem. For example, if you want to implement the 16-bit adder, so for that I am going to divide the 16-bit adder into the 4-bit adder. Then this 4-bit adders are further divided into the 2-bit adders. Okay. So what is the meaning of partitioning? The partitioning is nothing but we are going to divide the complex design into the smaller subsystems. Each subsystems can be designed independently as well as simultaneously. So it will increases the speed of the design process. Okay. So another one advantage of the design partitioning is it minimizes the interconnection between the subsystems. Okay. Already I told you design partitioning means we are dividing the complex systems into the smaller subsystems. So each and every subsystems are designed simultaneously as well as designed independently. It will increase the speed of the design process as well as it minimizes the interconnection between the subsystem. So this is one of the main advantages of the design partitioning. So in this design partitioning is carried out by hierarchically, like top to bottom structure. Like in this manner, we are going to divide the complex system into the smaller subsystems until the smaller subsystem is manageable size. Okay. So that is the decomposition is carried out hierarchically until each smaller subsystem is in the manageable size. Okay. So it is done mainly. What is the main advantages of doing the design partitioning is, so we can separate a different functional blocks as well as it is very easy for placement as well as the routing. Okay. So these are the advantages of design partitioning. So design partitioning means what? We are going to divide complex system into the smaller subsystems. So it will speed up the design process. So each subsystems we are going to design independently and simultaneously. It will increases the speed of the designing process. It also minimizes the interconnections between the smaller subsystems. Okay. Then another one advantages is once if you are performing a partitioning, that is dividing complex into smaller subsystems, so it will make the placement and routing very easier during the geometrical domain, during the geometrical design. So next we are going to see about a VLSI design flow. So what is the meaning of VLSI design flow is, so we are going to follow some sequence of operation to transform the IC designer's intentions into the layout. Okay. That means we are going to follow some sequence of operation to design a ICs. Okay. So if it is a well designed, that is before you performing any fabrications or manufacturing the IC, first we have to do the design flow. In the each design flow means what? What are the steps we are going to follow? That is the sequence of operations we are going to follow to convert our specification into the layout. Okay. So if it is a well-tuned design flow means it will help the designer to perform the chip creation very smoothly, as well as it will reduces the error in the implementation. Okay. So what are the steps we are going to follow? Okay. To design any IC or So we are going to, first step is design specification. Second one is design entry. Then design entry is followed by the functional simulation. After that, planning, placement and routing. Okay. So this is a design flow diagram of the VLSI design. Okay. So first we are going to, what is the step one is, first we are going to collect the specification. That is a step one. Okay. So step one is we are going to start with the specification. What is the meaning of specification is, for example, if you are designing any system, so for that you have to decide how many number of input and number of outputs, what is the clock frequencies and all. These are the specification of any systems. Okay. Once you got the specification of a system, the next step is we are going to perform the design entry step. In the design entry, we are going to enter our design in the any hardware description language. Okay. So in the design entry step, we are going to follow the two methods. Either we can go for the schematic or else any hardware description language we can use. There are two famous hardware description language are VHDL and Verilog HDL. That is the design entry. So design entry means what? We are going to enter into the systems. Either we can use the schematic entry or hardware description language. The hardware description language, famous hardware description languages are VHDL and Verilog. So after the design entry, next one is the logical synthesis step. In this logical synthesis steps, we are going to form the netlist. So you have to know what is the meaning of netlist. So the netlist is nothing but we are going to find what are the electronic components as well as what are the interconnection between the electronics components we are going to define in this logical synthesis step. Once you perform the logical synthesis steps, we are going to perform the system partitioning. Already I told you what is the meaning of partitioning. What is the meaning of partitioning? We are going to divide the complex systems into the smaller subsystem. That is, we are going to divide our system into the smaller blocks. Okay, that is the system partitioning. After the system partitioning, actually what we are going to carry out is, we are going to carry out the step number 4 is pre-layout simulation. What is a pre-layout simulation is, we are going to check whether the system is functioning properly or not. Okay, if it is performed properly, we are going to use some simulation tool to verify the functions. Okay, if it is performing very well, then we are going to proceed with the step number 5. Suppose if it fails to satisfy the function means, then again we are going to start from the step 1, that is design entry, then logical synthesis and system partitioning. After system partitioning, again we are going to verify the design. Okay, so verify the design. If it is satisfy the design specification, that is if it satisfy, if the verification is valid, then we are going to proceed with the physical design. Okay, so generally this VLSI design flow is classified into two things. One is a logical design, second one is a physical design. Okay, so the first three, that is design entry, logical synthesis and system partitioning comes under the logical design. The remaining steps such as floor planning, placement, routing, circuit extraction comes under the physical design. Okay, once we verify the logical design, okay, then we are going for the physical design. In the physical design, the first step is nothing but your floor planning. In this floor planning, we are going to decide where to keep the blocks in the chip. Okay, so already I told you in the system partitioning, we have divided our systems into the more number of blocks. In the floor planning, we are going to decide where to place the what are the blocks we are going to place. That is decided in the floor planning. After the floor planning, we are going to perform the placement. In the placement, we are going to decide where to place the cells in the block. Okay. After that, we are going to perform the routing. What is the routing means? The routing is nothing but the interconnection of cells or blocks. That is nothing but the routing. Once we perform the routing, we are going to carried out the circuit extraction. For the circuit extraction, what actually we are going to do is uh, we are going to measure the internal resistance and capacitance of the circuit. Okay. So why we are measuring that resistance and capacitance value is in order to find that delay. You know that if it is of any good design means the operation should be very fast. That is, if it is of very good design means the speed is very good. Okay. So we are going to measure the delay in order to find out the speed of the system, speed of any system, okay, or design. After the circuit extraction step, we are going to follow the post layout simulation to verify whether the system is working properly or not. Okay, so this one is very important one in the VLSI design flow. It has a two part. One is the logical design. Second one is physical design. The logical design has design entry, logical synthesis, and system partitioning. Okay, after the system partitioning, we are going to perform the physical design. That is the geometrical layout of the design we are going to carry out. That is floor planning, placement, routing, circuit extraction, followed by the post layout simulation. So already I told you that it has the two things. One is the logical design. Second one is the physical design. This logical design is also called as the front-end design. As I said earlier, first you have to collect the specification of the systems, like number of input, number of output, what is the frequencies and all. Okay. So after once you collected the specification, next we are going to carry out the design entry. What is the meaning of design entry is whatever the specification you have collected, using the specification, we are going to enter the design into some system, ASIC design system, using schematic entry or hardware description language. So you know the famous hardware description language or VHDL or Verilog. Okay, using that software we are going to enter our design into the system. Okay, so that is the step one. The step two, we are going to perform the logical synthesis. What is the meaning of logical synthesis? Is we are going to generate a net list. What is the meaning of net list? So net list is nothing but we are going to structure the what are the components and its interconnection from the HDL code. For example, if you are writing the HDL code for your design, from the HDL code we are going to generate what are the components, that is electronic component, for example logic gates, and the connections we are going to generate in the logical synthesis. The logical synthesis consists of the following steps such as technology independent logic optimization. Then we are going to converting the behavioral description into the structural domain. What is the meaning of behavioral description is what is your end product, that is the specification. You know that the behavioral description is nothing but it specifies only your end product and its function. We are converting that behavioral description into the structural domain. Structural domain means how we are going to implement the design. Okay, using some components like gates, that is logical gates. What are the logic gates we are going to use? From the logic level, we are going to convert into the circuit level. That means using a transistor. Then the transistor is from the transistor, what are the Boolean expressions we are deriving? Okay, so we are converting the behavioral description into structural domain. Then we are performing a technological mapping or library binding. So after the logical synthesis, we are going to perform the system partitioning. In the system partitioning, already I explained you, we are going to divide the large system into the small sized subsystems. Okay. After the system partitioning, we are going to perform the pre-layout simulation. What is the meaning of pre-layout simulation is we are going to check whether the design, whatever the thing we have designed, it is function correctly or not. Okay. So we are going to verify the gate level functionality and its timing details. Okay. So once the front end is designed successfully, then we are going to perform the physical design. It is also called as the back end design. So in this physical design, the step one is we are going to perform the floor planning. Already you have decided the logical design of your system. From the logical design, we are going to follow the physical design. That is how we are going to implement our system. Okay. So for the physical, we are going to bring the physical layout of the system. So first we are going to perform floor planning. In the floor planning, we are going to arrange the blocks of netlist on the chip. Okay. So we are going to arrange the blocks. Already we have using a system partitioning, we have divided into the more number of blocks. In the floor planning, we are going to arrange that blocks of netlist. Netlist means what? What are the components we are using? Okay, and interconnection. So we are going to arrange that blocks of netlist on the chip area. Okay. Next one is the placement. In the placement, we are going to decide the location of cells in the block. Already we have divided the systems into the smaller number of blocks. Then we arrange the blocks on the chip. Next, we are going to decide the location of cells in the block. Okay. After that, we are going to follow the routing. What is the meaning of routing is we are going to perform the connections between cells and blocks. We are going to connect. After the routing, we are going to perform the circuit extraction. In the circuit extraction, we are going to determine the resistance and capacitance of the interconnect. Actually, in IC, in the VLSI design, the delay is measured with the help of the resistance and capacitance only. So, if you want to measure the speed of the system, means for that we are going to measure the delay. So, we are going to determine the resistance and capacitance of the interconnect. Okay. After the circuit extraction, we are going to perform the post layout simulation. What is the use of post layout simulation is we are going to check whether the designs work properly with the loads of interconnect or not. In the post layout simulation, we are going to check whether the design is working with the proper load of interconnect or not. That is the post layout simulation. Okay. So what is the meaning of VLSI design flow is what are the sequence of steps we are following to transform the IC designer intention, that is IC designer intention, into the corresponding layout. Okay, that is a VLSI design flow. So what are the steps we are following is the VLSI design flow classified into two parts, that is logical design and physical design. The logical design deals with the design entry, logical synthesis and system partitioning. The physical design means we are going to we are going to perform the floor planning, that is arrangement of blocks in the chip. After that, where we are going to place the cells in the blocks. After that, we are going to make the connections between the cells and block. After that, we are going to determine the resistance and capacitance of the interconnect. Once all the steps are carried out, then we are going to do the final layout simulation. Okay, to verify that whether the design still works with the load or not. Okay, so next we are going to see about the different level of abstraction. Okay, first you have to know what is the abstraction. You know about what is the meaning of abstract. Abstract is nothing but it gives only the brief information about your design. Okay, that is the abstraction. So abstraction means what? The amount of information an entity is hiding within it. That is, it is going, abstraction means it is going to give overview about the design. That is brief information about the design. That is the abstraction. So in a VLSI design, there are different level of abstractions are there. It start with system level to layout level. Layout level is nothing but our geometrical representation of the system. Okay. So first we are different levels are system level. It start with the system level, then chip level, register level, gate level, circuit level. Circuit level means what? What are the transistors we are using to implement our system. For example, if it is of CMOS inverter, or if you are implementing the 2-input NAND gate means, okay, what are the, we are going to give the, okay, so you know that if it is of 2-input NAND gate, if you want to implement means, we are first going to draw the logical gate. From the logical gate, we are going to obtain the circuit level using a CMOS transistor. From the CMOS transistor, we are going to draw the stick diagrams. From the stick diagram, we are going to specify the layout level. Layout level, you know what is the meaning of layout diagram, already we have seen. In the layout level, we are going to give the physical dimension, that is dimension of the design. Okay, any systems. Okay, so here it is a different level of abstraction. Okay, So this abstraction level is defined with respect to the design domain. So there are three defined design domains are the behavioral, structural and physical. What is the meaning of behavioral is the behavioral level representation is nothing but it will gives the details about the end product, what actually end product you are going to design. That is a behavioral. Structural means what? So what are the components we are using to fulfill the design? That is a structural. So physical is nothing but the physical geometrical layout of the design. Okay. So if it is of system level abstraction means in the behavioral level, we are going to give the specification. Specification means what? For example, you just take a computer. If you want to purchase some computer means we have to know the specification, like what is our hard disk size and RAM size and clock frequencies and all. Okay. So in English, we are going to give the specification in the system level, that is in the behavioral domain. If it is of structural domain means we are going to define what are the components in the computer, like computer, disk unit, etc. Like components we are going to mention in the structural domain, that is what are the modules in the computer. Okay, that is a structural. In the physical domain, we are going to talk about the motherboards and all. That is boards, MCM, cabinet, physical partitioning and all. These are comes under the physical domain. So for example, if it is of chip level abstraction means in the behavioral level, we are going to explain with the help of algorithms and flowchart how we are going to implement your design. Okay. In the structural domain, we are going to mention in the form of your processor, RAMs, ROMs, FSM. Okay, like this we are going to mention here. In the physical domain, we are going to mention the size of the clusters, chips, and PCB boards. In a register level abstraction, it is deals with in a behavioral domain. We are going to mention the data flow, register transfers, and in a structural domain, we are going to mention the registers, arithmetic logic unit, mux, counter, buses. In physical domain, we are going to define the standard cells and floor plan. If it is of gate level implementation means, we know that if it is of any logical gate, first we are going to draw the truth table. From the truth table, we will get Boolean equations. Okay. If it is of structural domain means we are going to give what are the components we are going to use, like what are the gates you are going to use, like AND or XOR or flip-flop, etc. In the physical domain, we are going to represent in terms of cells and module plan. Okay. Next one is the circuit level abstraction. In the circuit level abstraction means what? We are going to specify the what transistor. That is circuit level is nothing but a transistor level. We are going to convert logic gate into the corresponding transistor diagrams. Okay. So here this one is represented, that is for the circuit level. In a behavioral domain, we are going to represent with the help of the differential and elemental equations. In the structural domain, we are going to mention what are the resistors, transistors, capacitance we are using in the transistor level. And in the physical domain, we are going to mention the mask geometry, that is the layout. Okay, you know that from the layout, from the logical diagram, like CMOS logic, that is implemented means using a CMOS transistor. From the logic diagram, we are going to draw the layout diagram. Okay, in the layout diagram, we will mention with the help of color code, as well as we will mention the dimension of the each and every layer information. Okay, so in the circuit level, the physical domain represent the mask geometry and its layout. Okay, so these are the different level of abstraction, how we are going to represent these levels with respect to the design domain. So design domains are behavioral, structural, and physical. So these three are very important one. So already I told you different level of abstraction is system level. So from the system, we are going to find out what are the different modules are there in the systems. From the modules, for each and every modules is implemented with the help of the gate. From the gate, we are going to draw the transistor logic, that is nothing but a circuit. From the circuit, we are going to form the physical layout, that is nothing but our fabrication of ICs. Okay, in order to fabricate an IC, the IC designer needs some layout diagrams. Okay, So that is a device. From the circuit diagrams, we are going to draw the layout, then we will got the corresponding device. Okay, these are the different level of abstraction. That means if we want to implement some design means we are going to follow some different level of abstraction in order to design a IC. Okay. So next one is a Y chart. It is also called as the Gajdowski-Cohen chart. Okay. So already I told you there we are going to represent a design in the three domains, that is behavioral domain, structural domain and physical domain. Already I told you what is the meaning of behavioral domain. The behavioral domain is nothing but it specifies the your end product specification. Okay, what is your end product exactly? What is the function of your end product? That is the behavior. The structural domain represent the what are the components you are using and its connection. That is a structural domain. For example, if you want to implement some system means the system is implemented with the help of some components. Okay, so the structural domain explains the component and interconnection of the component. Then third one is the physical or the geometrical domain, that is the layout of your system. Okay, so what is the meaning of Y chart is, this Y chart is mainly developed to categorize the hardware design. Okay, on the basis of three domain. Already I told you what are the three domains, that is behavioral, structural and physical domain. Why it is called as a Y chart is, so here you consider the Y, capital letter Y. So the Y has the three axes. You can see these are the three axes of Y. Three radical axes are there. Each radical axis we are going to mention that different domains. For example, here I am representing this axis as a behavioral, this axis as a structural, and this third axis as a physical domain. Okay, so in order to design any in order to implement any hardware design, we are considering a three different design views. The three different design views are mentioned in the radical axis of Y. Okay, so that's why it named as the Y chart. This Y chart has the 5 concentric circle. So each circle represents a different abstraction level. Already I told you what are the different abstraction level, that is system level, module level, gate level, circuit level and device level. Okay. So in the Y chart, already I told you it has the three axes, behavioral, structural and physical domain. So that is here we are going to consider the 5 concentric circle. Each concentric circle represent a different level of abstraction. You know the different level of abstractions are system level, gate level, like this. Okay, so each we are going to draw the 5 concentric circles on the Y, that is Y chart. So each concentric circle characterizes the abstraction. Okay, generally the abstraction is increased from the inner to outer. Okay, so compared to the inner, that is if 5 in the 5 concentric circle, the abstraction level is increased from inner to outer circle. Okay, so that is when you go outer, that means you will get more detailed information. Okay, so next we are going to see the diagram of the Y chart. I already told you the why it is called as the Y chart. We in the Y, that is in the letter Y, it has a 3 radical axes. Each axis represents a different domain, that is behavioral domain, structural domain and physical or geometrical domain. Okay, so here we are in this Y, that is in the 3 different domain, we are considering a 5 concentric circle. These concentric circle represent the abstraction level, different abstraction level like system level, algorithmic level, RT level, logical level and circuit level. Okay, so here the abstraction level is increased from inner to outer. Okay, already I told you in the system level, the behavioral domain we are representing a specification of the system. Okay, from the behavioral domain we are going to the structural domain. Okay, initially from where we will start, we are going to start from the behavioral domain. If you want to design any system means, first we are going to start from the behavioral domain. In the behavioral domain, what is the first level? That is the system level. So in the system level, first we are going to collect the specification of the system. Okay, for example, if you want to design some system means, for that first you have to know the specification, like how many number of inputs, output, what is the clock frequencies, everything you have to know, extra, etc. Okay. So first you have to collect the system specification. From the system specification, we are going to find out the components. Structural domain represent the components and its interconnection. So you have to define the CPU. For example, if it is a computer, means you have to know what are the components inside, that is CPU, memory, and communication between the components. Okay. Once you decided the CPU, memory, and communication, next we are going for the physical domain. In the physical domain, first we are going to perform the physical partitioning. Okay. So partitioning means what? We are going to divide into the smaller system like motherboard, control unit, ALU, registers, and all. Okay. So here we are going to choose an IC. Okay, we are going to choose the size of an IC board to implement this one. Okay. Once you completed the chip board, next level is nothing but a algorithmic level. In order to implement the implement the system, we are going to define the algorithm or flow chart to implement the system. From this algorithm, we are going to subsystems. What are the subsystems we are going? That is algorithmic level, that is finite state machine, data paths, and all. After the subsystem, in a physical domain, we are going to choose the corresponding blocks and chip. Okay. After that, again, we are going for the behavioral domain. In the behavioral domain, we are going to decide the register transfer level. Okay. From the register transfer level, we are going to start from the behavioral domain. Okay. From here, we are going to the what are the arithmetic logic unit, register, multiplexer we need to implement. Okay. From the structural domain, we are going for the from the structural domain, we are going for the macros and floor plan. Floor plan, already I told you, floor plan means what? We are going to decide where to place the blocks in the chip. Okay, that is the floor plan. After that, once the resistor transfer level is over, next we are going to start with the logical level. We are going to write the Boolean expression, that is Boolean logic for the implementation. From the Boolean logic, we are going to implement the gate or flip-flops. Okay, that is from the Boolean expression, we are going to derive the logical gates using and our flip-flop. We are going for the logical level. From the logical level, we are going to define the cells. Okay, and what is a module plan we are going to design. Okay. After that, again we are going to start with the circuit level. That is a transistor function we are going to define. From that, we are going to implement the transistor logical diagram. For example, using a CMOS, we are going to draw the transistor logic. From the transistor logic, we are going to give the transistor layout. We are going to draw the layout diagram for the fabrication of an IC. Okay. So these are the design steps we are following in the Y chart. Okay. So as I said earlier, first we are going to start with the behavioral level. Actually, in the behavioral domain, first we are going to collect the specification. From the specification, next step is nothing but the algorithm. From the algorithm, we are going to decide the processor. For the processor, we are going to design the corresponding chip size and floor plan. Then again, we are going to start with the behavioral domain. That is, we are going to define the finite state machine, then register and ALU module plan. Okay, so it will goes in the anti-clockwise direction from behavioral domain to structural domain, then followed by the layout domain. Okay, at the end we are going to end with initially we are going to start with the system specification. Okay, the end is what? We are going to obtain the layout of the IC. Okay. Okay, so already I have explained you in the system level. First, we are going to generally start with the behavioral. What is the meaning of behavioral? We are going to give the specification about the end product. It mainly focus on the end function, what is the power consumption and area. In the structural domain, once you know the specification, we are going to define what are the modules are required for the design is identified. And then in the physical domain, we are going to physical partitioning we are going to carry out, and we are going to decide the size of the board. Okay. After that, next level is chip level. In the chip level, in the behavioral, we are going to explain with the help of an algorithms or any flow chart. Behavior means what? what is the function of the system? Okay, for what is the function of the end product? In the structural domain, we are going to find out the design and the connection. That is, what are the components we need and its connections are shown in the structural domain. Based upon the components and connection, we are going to decide the size of the PCB. Okay, and what are the clusters we need to connect the component. Then in the register level, we are going to flow from the, okay, register level means what? How our data flow from the input port to the output port using a registers and combinational block. In a structural block, we are going to consider the data, that generally data flows in the arithmetic logic unit and multiplexers, etc. And the connections are shown. In the physical layout, we are going to decide floor planning, that is where to place block in the IC and standard cells. Okay. Then in the gate level, we are going to define the Boolean expression. From the Boolean expression in the structural domain, we are going to define what are the gates we are using and the interconnection of the gate. In the physical domain, we are going to deal with the modules and cell plan, where to place cells in the blocks. Then in the transistor level, we are going to define the transistor elemental equation. From the transistor elemental equation, in the structural domain, we are going to find out what are the components and resistors and capacitors we are going to use. Using that transistor, resistor, capacitors, we are going to implement the logic diagrams. Okay, that is CMOS logic diagrams like that. Okay, from the CMOS logic diagram in the physical domain, we are going to bring the layout of the device. Layout means what? We are going to mention the dimensions, everything. When based upon the layout, we are the fabrication engineer going to design the fabricate engineer going to design the IC. That is, they are going to fabricate the IC. Okay. So the main thing is, if it is of good design, if you want to design any system, means we have to follow some certain steps to achieve the good systems. Okay. To achieve the good design flow. Okay. For that only we are following VLSI design flow, as well as in Y chart, we are following some certain steps to implement the fabrication, that is implement the physical layout. Okay. So thank you.